Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Meha Bharadwaj Alter, and the eliminator last night proved that you can predict whatever you want to. In the end, predictions give neither teams any edge. What does though is playing good cricket in whatever conditions you're given, and Mumbai Indians proved last night how dangerous they can be in a knockout game given the successful history of this team as they demolished Lucknow Super Giants by 81 runs. That's right. Rohit Sharma and his team took the bold call of batting first despite being good chasers, but put up a challenging total of 182 for 8. Mumbai batters were aggressive from the first ball as Ishan Kishan and Rohit Sharma hit fours in the first 3 overs, taking on the Lucknow Super Giants spinners. The Mumbai Indians then, their batters carried on batting with the same intent despite losing wickets. Cameron Green, Suryakumar Yadav built a 66-run crucial partnership, and it looked like at one point Mumbai would cross 200. But Naveen Ulhaq, he put a spanner in the works. They still managed to get to 182 with Nihal Vadera's cameo in the last over, scoring 23 in 12 balls. But LSG's start was similar as they scored 54 in the power play with the help of Marcus Stoinis and captain Krunal Pandya. But what happened after the power play was absolute capitulation by the Lucknow team. They were 69 for 2 and they collapsed in the most dramatic manner, losing 8 wickets for 32 runs to being dismissed for 101. Akash Madhwal was the star with the ball for Mumbai Indians as he finished with the best ever figures in a playoff match. 5 wickets in 3.3 overs, giving away just 5 runs. It turned out to be a one-sided game, but what it also showed is how special Mumbai can be in a knockout match. Jamie Alter and Vedam Jaishankar join me here. They are here with us. And like I said, a lot of people in the beginning predicted that LSG will win the game and MI will only win if they chase. The two gentlemen in front of you did exactly that. So let me begin by asking them, how does it feel to be proved wrong, Vedam?
See, always a big match is always tough, Neha. It's always tough.
Yes.
But look, who actually collapsed to the pressure? Who was the team? Who was the ones who had that meltdown? I feel it was the Lucknow Super Giants management, their team management. Can you imagine Mankad opening the batting? At one stage, I thought he was trying to run out his partner, KL Myers.
Yeah.
So I think their calls were all wrong. And I'm not so sure if Krunal Pandya was the right captain. I think he also buckled under pressure. So I think if you really look at the match in its entirety, in its totality, the Lucknow Super Giants to start with were led down by their team management, which did a very poor job in their choice of team. And then later by their captain, who didn't know how to run the show. You can't give a guy like Krishnappa Gautam just 1 over. You keep out somebody like Quinton de Kock, which we said right through yesterday. They have to open with Quinton de Kock and Kyle Myers and play 4 foreigners as the batsmen. And not to worry too much about their bowling because their Indian component of bowling is quite decent. It's not great, but it's quite decent. But their Indian contingent of batsmen will never get them the runs. It's their foreign contingent of batsmen will get them the runs. And let's look at it like this. There are two definite things that has to go for you if you have to chase a big total. One is you have to send your big hitters right in the front. And all of us knew the first 6 overs were very crucial. Instead, they sent a Mankad, you know, and that was the first mistake. The second thing is you have to be lucky all the time. They were lucky with the run out, but then they were not lucky beyond that, you know. They just played it to their hands. And I think when you look at it in totality, I guess Mumbai handled the pressure better and Mumbai were the better big team players. You know, I'm talking straight from the management. I'm not talking just to the captain. Captain also handled himself brilliantly. But even the management, I think, let down the team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it also went on to show, Jamie, how dangerous teams like CSK and Mumbai Indians can be. Given that they've been in so many knockout games, they just know how to handle the pressure. I think it's the franchise themselves, be it CSK or Mumbai Indians. Even yesterday, between the two teams, you just knew that Mumbai were better prepared for a match like this. They seemed to be in control throughout. Even at one point, when you felt that Marcus Stoinis was hitting, some big hits, and you know he's the most consistent batter for LSG, and we know that Mumbai bowling wasn't going to be that good, though it turned out to be the other way. Mumbai was never, they were never hassled really. And that's a trademark of a champion team, which Mumbai is.
Absolutely, and that is the difference when it comes to these knockout matches.
Yeah.
More so the eliminator where there is no second chance, right? We briefly touched upon this in yesterday's preview show that you expect teams like CSK and Mumbai Indians, when they make this far, and let's face it, they get into the tournament expecting nothing less than a spot in the eliminator, right? Obviously, qualifier one, they would love to finish 1 and 2, but not all plans work out. So when you look at the situation, right, and Vedam is absolutely right, it was also a combination of the management not taking calls, and somewhat parallels with last season when in their debut season, Lucknow did decently well. They also finished number 3 that time. I thought they were far more convincing last time. In fact, I've gone on record saying that I don't think Lucknow will get to the playoffs this time. But to do that and then lose by 81 runs in an eliminator, it sort of nullifies all you've achieved in the past, right? I think they punched above their weight. They made some right calls. They lost some matches they really should have won.
Yeah.
But you just expect them. I thought yesterday, and I'll stick by it. Yes, I got the wrong winner, but I thought for those conditions they had the team to compete. But just like Vedam said yesterday, Mumbai, if they stick to their aggressive batting approach, they will have a much better chance. And I'm glad. Once again, Rohit Sharma, utter disaster as a batsman. Ishan Kishan, I think he has 2 innings of note in 14, 15 innings. But the good thing is the team backed that same template, which has got them that far. Let's go for runs. Let's go for runs. Cameron Green struck at what? 175 odd. Sky got 165. Tilak Verma, and then of course Nihal Vadera. So yes, they were up against a team that I thought would do better. But you look at the way Mumbai's batting played out. I'm sure we'll talk about Akash Madhwal.
Yeah.
But the batsmen not moving away from their most successful template, and finally a captain chose to bat. That for me was the biggest news to the captain. Because I've been saying it for weeks now. In a crunch match, you bat. And I think had Mumbai chosen to chase, perhaps they wouldn't have won so easily. So full credit to the Mumbai management and their scouts as always.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you've been saying it forever now that especially in knockout games, it's best to chase in this situation. But I've got to ask both of you, this curious case of Chepauk, the pitch itself, and how different it was, or was it very different? Was it the bowling that was different? The Mumbai batters were batting much better than what we saw the day before. What is your take on the pitch itself? Because in the mid-innings break, I think, or was it post-match presentation, I'm not sure, Krunal Pandya was asked this. And he said that, the pitch was very good to bat on, that the ball was coming on nicely on the bat. And he felt that he was responsible for that collapse that started after LSG lost his wicket. So what's your take on the pitch and the different conditions that we saw in this match versus the one between GT and CSK, Vedam?
They prepare pitches with different clay. In Bangalore, for instance, there is a Mandya clay and there is a Kakinada clay. So they decide which clay to play on. And, it's because of the moisture retaining properties of the clay, because of the binding properties of the clay, the tungsten strength of the clay, all this goes into effect. So what CSK has done is they love to play on slow pitches. So they have played on a different pitch. And then they have thrown these guys at a different pitch. Actually, there was also a lot of bounce. If I remember one of those Cameron Green's bounce, Ishan Sharma was not even able to, Ishan Kishan wasn't even able to get to it. I think he went for 4 byes. So there was a lot of bounce, there was a lot of pace, and the ball was coming on beautifully. And like you said in your opening remarks, definitely I thought at one stage they would make about 200 to 220 because the pitch was that good. But if you compare it with the pitch in the previous match pitch was not so very good. So I think CSK has also been smart, though the IPL groundsmen, they are the ones who are in charge of the pitches. I think CSK has also been smart. They play to their strengths and they play, especially at home, they play on slow pitches where the ball doesn't come on, and 140, 150 can easily be a winning score. But now, yesterday, when they didn't have a skin in the game, they decided that, they'll give a pitch which will have a lot of bounce and carry. And we thought it was totally different. And in a way, I feel both teams were ill-equipped, especially with their bowling. They had so many spinners in their ranks,
Yeah.
both of them. They were just ill-equipped. But for that impact player rule, I think they would have been struggling.
Absolutely, and that's why I feel, Jamie, LSG missed a trick right in the beginning. When they went with their spinners, Krunal Pandya started along with Krishnappa Gautam, thinking that it's the first 6 overs which are going to be important, maybe the slow bowlers, because of what they saw in the match before, where they felt that, ball coming slowly onto the bat, they won't be able to hit big sixes or big hits. So power play, the batters can be contained. But both Ishan Kishan and Rohit Sharma got off to a good start. And, once you get off to that start, and we've seen this with Mumbai, right? They genuinely think that getting 30, 40 or 15 deliveries, 20 deliveries is good enough for them because of the kind of depth that they have in their batting. And from there on, they were unstoppable.
Yeah. No, I mean it's kind of strange that given how bad Rohit Sharma's poor form is, that we're taking 11 of 10 balls to be decent. But again, I think Mumbai know that their openers are their weak point. Most of the runs have come from Sky, have come from Green, have come from Tilak Verma, and even someone like Nehal Vadera. This goes back to that scouting. 21, 22 has a good Syed Mushtaq Ali, gets his chances. The bulk of Mumbai's runs have come from 3 down to number 5. Even Tim David's got some scores. So I think the team was, yes, I agree with Vedam that they were perhaps not quite equipped to bat on that track, or let's say they were surprised by the track. But when Mumbai know our middle order is arguably one of the best going around in terms of continually hitting the ball, that put them in a very, very good position. And again, regarding the track, this was a very good track. Yes, they were on course for 200, but I think they knew, we get up to 180, 185. This match is ours because yesterday preview show we all back spinners to do well. Not one Lucknow spinner took a wicket. But I'll go back to what Vedam said. You cannot just bowl someone like Krishnappa Gautam for just one over. Maybe take him off after 1 over. What is it? 1 over, 8, 9 runs, 10 runs, something like that. Okay, that's okay. But you need to go back to him. Naveen Haq got 4 wickets, bowled very well. They bowled the leg cutters. They bounced the ball. They made use. But I just think somehow tactically, Lucknow were not just there. And this is why Rohit Sharma getting runouts, Rohit Sharma smiling, happy, We talked about yesterday how he offloads his anxiety onto others. Well, yesterday's Rohit Sharma was a Rohit Sharma that knew, you know what? We're the big boys of the IPL. We know how to dominate when we get this far.
Yeah, there was also this brilliant stop by him where he dived and stopped a delivery that was running away for 4. And then at least 3 to 4 players came to pick him up, which is a small little moment there. But we've got to talk about how good Akash Madhwal is. Let's just shift focus to Akash Madhwal. And another scouting success story for Mumbai Indians. Vedam, we've seen this with so many players now to come out of Mumbai, the franchise, who've gone on to play for India, who've really come into their own. And Akash Madhwal is one such story. Yesterday, it was brilliant to return with the figures of 5 for 5, 17 dot balls in 3.3 overs. Incredible. The only other player to have done this, he's got the best figures, he's equal that record with Anil Kumble, the great Anil Kumble, and no one's been able to do it in a match which is a playoff match, So the pressure's on you, the pressure's on the bowler. But the way he's been used and how he's only improved in the last 3-4 games. I mean, Sunrisers Hyderabad, I remember the way he got the wicket of Harry Brook and Henrik Klaasen on back-to-back deliveries. Yesterday, the wicket of Nicholas Pooran, bowling round the wicket to a left-hander. What do you make of his talent, Akash Madhwal, and how impressed are you by him?
See, Meha, I don't mean to be derogatory at all. But let's put what this T20 cricket is. You can bowl your best ball and you can get hit out of the park for a 6. You can bowl your worst delivery and you will get a wicket. So as a coach, what do you tell a bowler? What do you ask him to bowl? Do you ask him to bowl your best ball which is going out of the park, or do you ask him to bowl full tosses and slow deliveries or short pitch deliveries which actually fetch you wickets? So I think it's very confusing, but I hold what I said earlier. that bowlers with quirk in their actions are the ones who will actually do well in IPL. And we've seen this again and again and again. Now, take Akash. Again, I said, I don't mean this in a derogatory sense at all.
Yeah.
But you look at his figures, outside this. He plays for I mean, it's not a Bombay or a Karnataka or a Delhi team. He plays for a small team. And he has not been a success in first class cricket. He has played matches against Meghalaya, he's played matches against Orissa, he's played, I think, Tripura or whatever. And I think in 12 matches, he's got some 13 wickets or 14 wickets. I'm not sure now, but at one time I checked, it was very, very average. So, you need a little bit of a spirit of a gambler, to go with such a bowler. When you look at his track record, you're not so sure. But then when it works beautifully for you, then you think, yeah, he is the man. But I think what he had yesterday was absolutely a dream performance. Yeah. And I'm sure that he himself will never come across such a performance yesterday. But I'm not taking anything away from him. The man of the hour, the guy he was put on the spot, he was given a total, and he delivered brilliantly. They tried to target him, but I guess they targeted the wrong guy, or maybe things didn't work for them. But yes, on yesterday's performance, he bowled brilliantly. But like I said, T20 cricket, you don't know what is a good ball. You bowl a bad ball and you get a wicket. You bowl a good ball, it gets hit out of the park.
Yeah. Yeah, though the difference with Madhwal is in the last two matches that he's played, the wickets have actually come off brilliant deliveries, So that was good to watch. Now this is what Akash Madhwal has said after the match, after his match-winning performance, and he says, and I'm going to put that quote up, "I'm trying my best to fulfill the responsibilities given to me by the team. I'm not Bumrah's replacement, but I'm trying my best to do what I can. The wicket at Chipok was good. As you saw, the ball was not gripping but skidding. I'm a swing/sling bowler, and I pitched my deliveries in hard lengths aiming for wickets. I'm also very chilled out and relaxed, and I'm having fun because I'm pursuing my passion." So, Jamie, I'm going to come to you on this one. Akash Madhwal is one good kid. What he's done is that first he's listened to his parents, like all Indian parents say that, first you've got to be good at your studies, get a job, do something, become a doctor, engineer. He decided to be a civil engineer. He is that. And then he followed his passion. But the story itself has been incredible. Tennis ball cricketer, 2018, joins Uttarakhand domestic cricket, is scouted by RCB as a net bowler, comes to Mumbai as a net bowler, drafted in when Suryakumar Yadav got injured into the squad last year, and has been working behind the scenes. But to see this kind of performance, and the pressure has been on him, the fact that he is bowling in different phases of the tournament, but he is their go-to death bowler in the absence of Jasprit Bumrah, in the absence of Jofra Archer. Those are big shoes to fill. So in that sense, this is quite the success story for Mumbai.
Absolutely, and I think before we get into that whole analysis, you have to understand the why are we raving. We're not just raving because he's taken 3 wickets. And again, let's go back to that match against Gujarat. He took out Riddhiman Saha, Shubman Gill, and David Miller. Those are 3 big wickets. That's 3 of their top 4. Then he goes to Hyderabad, a match they had to win, and then he takes 4 wickets there. And that Yorker to Harry Brooks. So now things are falling in place. But it's because, Meha, Mumbai's pace bowling was so pathetic all this while, right? He's now 1 wicket shy of Jason Verendorf, who's been playing since match 1. Okay,
yeah.
We've all talked about Piyush Chawla. So why this team is now looking so much better is, yes, we can go on until the cows come home about their batting, but it's the arrival of this Akash Madhwal, 29-year-old, and he takes 3, 4, and 5. Okay, he's taking what? That's 13 wickets now in 4 or 5 matches. That's outstanding, no matter who you are. And he's had a huge. Had he not taken those 4 wickets, Hyderabad were probably on their way to 220 at the Wankhede in that second last league match, right?
Yeah.
So yes, he comes from Uttarakhand. It's a backwater. I know more than anyone how plagued that association is with politics, with corruption. We know the muck. But for someone in the Mumbai Indians scouting situation to find this guy, despite the very poor stats, to watch him in the nets, and like Vedam said, oftentimes it is a gut feel, right? You feel that he's going to do it. And once he takes 3 against GT, the number 1 team, once he virtually sets up Mumbai Indians win with those 4 wickets, I think all the talk was about Cameron Green's 100, right? But
Yeah.
that guy, Akash Madhwal, taking 4 wickets when they had an opening stand of, I don't know, 140, 150 odd, they were on track for a much bigger total. But he pulled things back with 4 wickets, and then of course, five for five in what 21 deliveries. That is definitely not going to happen again. So
Yeah.
hats off to him. Hats off for someone to back him. And I love that line which he said to Harsha Bogle. I mean, I'm not exactly getting it right, but he said that we engineers know how to pick up things very fast.
हाँ, आप इतने
And
जल्दी कैसे सीखते हैं? Is what Harsha Bogle asked him, and he said,
correct.
"Sir, हम engineer हैं,
And
engineers जल्दी pick up
and
करते
I
हैं."
think and I think that line shows why thrust into the deep end. And let's also, I'm sorry for going on. Let's look.
No, that's
Mumbai did
okay.
not see him. Mumbai did not see him fit to start. They gave Arjun Tendulkar many chances. They had not Mohsin Khan. I'm forgetting his name, but there's another bowler who they tried again through trial and error. And of course, once Archer went out, they locked in Akash Madhwal. But look at the returns: 3 wickets become 4 wickets, become 5. He's not going to get 6 in the next match, but
Yeah.
he's really had a massive influence because Mumbai's bowling was so bad for about 10, 11 matches in this league.
Yeah. But I think the template itself has worked well for them, right? They very quickly figured out, Vedam and Jamie, they quickly figured out that they don't have the bowling. They knew that Jasprit Bumrah is gone. They knew that before the IPL started. He's not going to be part of this season. Then midway, when they realized Jofra Archer is also not fit, I think they were very clear on what they want to do with their batting. They knew that they'd have to outbat every opposition that they meet, which is what they've been trying to do, right? Always try to score 20, 25 runs extra because you don't have a very good bowling attack, and that seems to have worked. What also is working for them, Vedam, is this aggressive attitude. I mean, this is what Rohit Sharma had said. Now, I want to get your opinion on this. This is him. It has already been discussed a lot, but still, Rohit Sharma saying there is no role for an anchor in T20s anymore. And he's talked about how he is thought, how he has worked on his game, and he thinks those 30s and 40s of 20 deliveries for in a team's cause is fine, unless the team is down for, say, a team is 20 for 3 or something, 20 for 4. That's when maybe you'll, which doesn't happen very often, he says, in T20s. But what he's trying to say is that he wants to play that game as well, which he's been doing in T20Is for India, as well as what he's been trying to do in the IPL. Is that what everybody will try to do? And I know Mumbai is a different team. They don't have the bowling attack. This template seems to be suiting them. But T20 on the whole, do you see that there is no role really for an anchor in this format? You just come, be aggressive, try to hit everything, not out of the park, but try to punish the bad deliveries, but show that positive intent.
Yeah, absolutely. See, there is something called individual glory, and for a long time, cricket has stuck with this individual glory with these statistics. Number of 50s, number of hundreds, number of whatever. But now suddenly we're getting into a different paradigm. And now yesterday, when you look at Mumbai, the way they played, somebody like Tilak Varma or Vadera or Surya Kumar Yadav or Green, they just went for it. They were not worried about their wicket. And I think that is going to be the template, or rather that should be the template, because 20 overs is not much and you really have to go hell for leather. Now suddenly we are seeing scores of 200 being chased down. I won't be surprised when maybe in a year we'll get something like 250 also being chased down comfortably. But, the game has changed. Game has changed tremendously. You need power hitters,
Yeah.
And you look at what Mumbai has done, when they have brought people like earlier what you said about the talent scouts, you bring Madhwal, you make him play. And he's the next bowler, you make him play. And, when I look at the other extreme, I look at RCB, they had a problem. They also had injuries. They went and brought a guy from the commentator's box, and that is shocking, Kedar Jadhav. And the joke was that next they would bring Rahul Dravid or somebody in to play, So the thinking process itself has changed. So we must give a lot of credit to the Mumbai talent scouts, and also the fact that the management has decided that, these guys know their business. We have selected them. They know their business. And let's back them. If they don't perform, we'll check them out. But we have hired these guys. Let's back them. And they backed them brilliantly. And the way Rohit Sharma has managed his team, at one stage it looked like Mumbai Indians would not even qualify into the playoffs. But not only have they qualified, they've done extremely well so far. And yeah, yesterday's match was a standout performance. It may be LSG. LSG also was very, very lucky to qualify. At one stage, we thought even they wouldn't qualify. They were very lucky to qualify. But having said that, they still had a good team. And in these playoff matches, it's a team that plays better on the day that wins, not the number of runs or anything else that is that comes up with the scoreboard.
Yeah, absolutely. Just staying with that Rohit topic, Jamie, we were discussing this before where you cannot fault him for trying to do this. You know, I like that. He may be getting out. We've discussed this. Rohit Sharma out of form. Rohit Sharma hasn't been scoring runs. When is the next time you'll see Rohit Sharma actually getting a big score? But in this interview, he's made it very clear that he's not looking to bat till the end. Unless he is going at a strike rate of 140 plus, he's not. That his sole motive, or everybody in that team, is to go out there and give them quick runs. And it's everybody. It's your openers, number 3, everybody has to do it, because this is what he's saying. He says all 7 batters need to play their role. I believe that if you get a good score, it's good. But even if you get a good 30, 40 of just 10 to 15 or 20 balls, it is as good, because you're doing the role for the team. The game has changed. Then another thing, which, players like, say, a Shubman Gill will look at, where he's saying, this is how he will look to play, where he's saying, I know I cannot match the power of guys like Tim David, Kieron Pollard, Cameron Green. These are powerful hitters. They can hit 100 meters easily. But my thinking is that if I'm getting a 6 after 65 to 70 meters, I only have to hit 80 meters. Why do I need to hit 100 meters? I will do that once you allow 8 runs for it. And then he's just saying, basically, I'll hit 80 meters only because I'm getting 6 runs for it. And that is the way forward. You've got to hit 6s in T20s if you want to change the game, if you want to stay with this changing format.
Absolutely, we've discussed this, and yes, I'm on the same page. The T20 game has evolved, and you need to evolve. But Meha Vedam, you know that line, right? In life, it's all about timing. The moment I read that comment, I said, aha, so Rohit Sharma is speaking now when he's not done a thing, but his team has managed to do that, right? I would have loved Meha and Vedam. I would have loved this comment to come after India's abject performance at last year's T20 World Cup, right? This was a comment from a man who knew that he was lucky to get this far. His team had bucked the odds. His team had worked. He had barring some good captaincy in one throw, once again, Rohit, the batsman, struggled. Now, Rohit can say, I'm not getting, but is that actually the way he's playing? I don't know. I just go back to the T20 World Cup, because let's face it, yes, IPL is not international cricket, but India's selection comes only and only from the IPL, not from Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, right? Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul were the 2 worst batsmen alongside Babar Azam in the power play, right? Yeah. Rohit, yes, I agree with him. He was probably, if I compare him to his fellow opening partner, KL Rahul, in the Asia Cup and the T20 World Cup, it seemed like Rohit was at least trying to walk this talk. But again, are 22s, 25 actually going to help you? On the other hand, we had that anchor who was, and the stats show he had the slowest strike rate in the T20 World Cup, right? Now, I'm willing to believe that Rohit Sharma has learned from that terrible T20 World Cup and the Asia Cup failure, but where was this kind of responsive, proactive Rohit Sharma back then, right? Why does it come only with Mumbai Indians, right? I agree, there is no role, which is why I feel KL Rahul should never step foot in India's T20 team again, because there's no room for an anchor. You have a struggling Rohit Sharma for now almost 2 years. You have KL Rahul, who says he doesn't believe in strike rates and really brought that team down. And then I know Virat Kohli fans are going to go after me, but Virat Kohli at number 3 scoring at 135 is also not the solution, right? You need to reset India's T20 cricket. I know it's an IPL show. We're talking about yesterday's match. We're previewing tomorrow's match. But the bigger picture is the IPL giving a feeder system to India's T20 team? If so, then by all means, get Shubman Gill in, get Yashasvi Jaiswal in, get Rituraj Gaikwad in, get Rinku Singh in, because none of these players are anchors. And I think that Virat Kohli's 100 versus Shubman Gill's 100, strike rate 165, strike rate 200. Most days 165 is fine, but today's game demands 200.
Okay, Sudha ma'am's put this comment for everybody, Jamie. She's saying that love Jamie Alter's interesting menagerie in the room. So she's commented and saying the rise of Madhwal riveting show. Thank you so much, ma'am. If you're watching, and if you all are watching, what do you think of what we're discussing? Do you agree with Jamie and Vedam? Do you agree with Rohit Sharma? You know, the fact that there is no role for an anchor in T20s anymore. With the game itself changing, do let us know in the comment section below. But we've also then got to talk about what went wrong with Lucknow Super Giants with those 3 runouts. Had they forgotten how to take singles, Jamie and Vedam? What was going on? And all 3 had one person in common, and that was Deepak Hooda. You have any thoughts on that, Vedam? What was going on there? 3 runouts?
I have not seen that stylish kind of run out, even in a school match. You know, I haven't seen it anywhere. I mean, that was so ridiculous. You know, both the guys running at each other and not looking. I mean, there could have been a serious injury to start with. You know,
Yeah.
But besides that, in cricket, the striker runs closer to the pitch and the non-striker runs a little wider of the pitch. I mean, that's mandatory, and they run on offside leg side. But of course, if somebody's bowling around the stumps, you'd like to come this side and run. But this was crazy what they did. And actually, you just threw it away. And it's not just 3 run out. They were very, very, very lucky that Myers was not run out. I think it was the first over or the second over. Both of them were stuck at one end. It could have been 4 run outs. So I think they panicked. They panicked big time. You know, and the way they panicked, I have no idea. Maybe if they had 2 good, aggressive opening batsmen, Myers would not have panicked, and neither would Mankad. He actually tried to steal the strike away from Mankad because Mankad was doing nothing. He was really doing nothing. He was just wasting everybody's time there. So had it been, let's say, Quinton de Kock, maybe they would have got off to an aggressive start and things would have flown much, much quicker and better for them. But that was not to be. And we've seen now, you know, earlier the thinking was hold on to your, wicket. Maybe from the 13th or 14th over, you can go hell for leather, get the big hitters later, and try and get a big total. But now it's right from ball 1. You just have to go, whether it's 20 runs, 31 runs, it doesn't matter. And if you get 50, 60 runs in those first 6 overs, you're on velvet. And I think, in a way, LSG also did that. They got that, I think, 55 or 60 runs. But after the first break, the strategic break, I don't know what this guy was thinking. Maybe he had a brain freeze, Kunal Pandya. But after that, they just collapsed. They just collapsed like a pack of cards. So I don't think LSG was up to the task. I think they were very happy that they had come this far. And I'm not sure if they knew or if they were confident they could go much further.
Yeah. I also didn't see, especially after that Marcus Stoinis run out, Jamie, and you know, Jeffrey Boycott once said that you're supposed to run in opposite directions. So after that Marcus Stoinis run out, I mean, there was no reaction from him. Anybody else in a situation like this would be kicking himself for having gotten out in such a fashion, especially if you're batting that well, if, you know, you are in a knockout match, I don't know. And then it carried on. It's like a comedy of errors with those runouts. What was going on?
Yesterday, as soon as the 3rd wicket fell, I got a WhatsApp message, and I quote, "LSG mein Pakistan ki atma aa gayi aaj." It was one of those typical, because we've seen, right?
Yeah.
Even in the last 6-7 years, the amount of times that I've screenshot, things from Twitter with 2 Pakistan batsmen at the same end. No team does that more often than the Pakistan team, no matter what era it is. And Vedam is right. I mean, we don't see this at least school level, and even at the weekend level that I play, we don't see that kind of comical running. But just to get serious, 32 wickets, 32 runs for 8 wickets.
Yeah.
You don't expect that from a team that is in the playoffs, right? You might expect that from a team which is injury ridden, or they have other issues and it's game 4 or 5 of the league. But to 32 runs, 8 wickets in an eliminator match, I just like Vedam said, I just don't think they were ready to deal with this situation. Again, I'll stick by my prediction that I thought they had a better team for those conditions. But when you don't bowl Krishnappa Gautam, when you yourself look lost, Prerag Mankad, all these things. I mean, okay, you dropped de Kock because his runs were not what you expected, but he's still Quinton de Kock, right? He's an international player. On the day, we can say, look, their fourth overseas player was Naveen Ulak, who took 4 wickets. But what do those 4 wickets amount to? Zero, right? You needed Mayers and de Kock out there trying to do something, because runs come in the power play. You get 70 in the power play, there's a chance. Of course, no one thought, nobody in the Lucknow management thought they were going to lose 8 for 32.
Yeah.
But similar, you want to step on it. So maybe you open with Ayush Badoni, maybe you open with someone else. If you've not gone for de Kock, but Parag Mankad bats at 3, bats at 4. He got man of the match in one game. I think number 3 he came one down,
Yeah.
65 not out. But to send the kid opening in eliminator,
In a match like this, yeah. So this is what this
odd.
is what Krunal Pandya was asked this as to why he didn't play Quinton de Kock, and he said that because Kyle Mayers scored 53 off 22 in the match against Chennai in those conditions, so he thought of that's a decision you make, but then one can also look back and say if it wasn't for Naveen ul Haq, Mumbai would have gone beyond 200. So
Yes,
there is all of that.
but
I think bottom line, Jamie and Vedam, is the over dependence on their foreign players, and yesterday, that just didn't work for them. The fact that KL Rahul wasn't there, the fact that Deepak Hooda has done absolutely nothing in this season. They've stuck with him, but he's done nothing. Ayush Badoni has played few cameos, but their Indian players haven't done much, and that just came back to hurt them in the match yesterday.
Yeah, that's why I always thought that, and I mentioned this yesterday also, they just have to go with 4 foreign batsmen. Because
Yeah.
my thinking is a little different on this. If you have a foreign bowler, or let's say an Indian bowler, an Indian bowler probably would give 4 overs 48 runs, a foreign bowler will give 4 overs 30 runs or something like that. So difference is hardly 15-20. But when it comes to batting, these guys are big hitters. Whether it is Nicholas Puran or Quinton de Kock or
Yeah.
Stoinis, they're big hitters, powerful hitters. So they could make much more LSG. Even the team management was very poor. Their choice of captain, Kunal Pandya is an excellent cricketer. He is a real fighter, but is he captain material? They could have given it to Nicholas Puran, even in the batting order. Why would you put Nicholas Puran so low down in the order? In fact, he came after Badoni. For Badoni's brilliance, Nicholas Puran is a hitter. He can whack the ball. Badoni can't whack the ball like he can. So I think they made so many mistakes down the line. If you start right from the toss, you can go on and on and on. And
Yeah.
all these small mistakes just amplified it. So it amplified it to such an extent, the match suddenly became totally one-sided. And Mumbai was just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And LSG was looking, it was a fight between unequals.
Yeah, 81 run win is a huge win. It's a huge win in T20s. But do you agree, Jamie, that maybe Nicholas Puran could have been their captain? Or Krunal Pandya actually was doing a good job. It's just in this match where you felt like he'd made wrong decisions. But before this,
I would have gone. I would have gone with Marcus Stoinis at the time because yes, the overseas players have a much bigger impact when you're talking about Lucknow. But that said, Kunal Pandya did very well once he was thrust into that role. But yes, going back, the moment KL Rahul was ruled out, more than Nicholas Puran, I would have gone for Marcus Stoinis because Nicholas Puran, we've seen that when the West Indies gave him captaincy, it abjectly affected his form. So if I were to go back 7-8 matches before that KL Rahul was injured, I would have gone for Marcus Stoinis. But overall, he did well to galvanize this team despite their obvious weaknesses. But again, when you're judging him on the basis of the most important match, and let's face it, you do what you want to do in the league stage, it does come down to one match if you're placed 3 or 4, or it comes down to 2 matches, if you're 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So on the day, Krunal Pandya very, very flat. And his batting, he looked lost. He looked defeated.
okay, now we're stepping closer to an El Clasico. Do you see that happening with Mumbai Indians and Chennai Super Kings in the final? Because this team now looks very good, Vedam. They would have been buoyed by this win. it wasn't a close win. It was an absolute demolition, as we've been saying. You know, they've shown how they can be in a big match like this. Chennai, of course, are already into the finals. They, you know, they are ready. They're waiting for whoever will come, whether it's GT or Mumbai Indians. But how do you see that? Do you see Mumbai Indians going all the way to the final now?
I still think that Gujarat Titans is the team to beat. And when you look at it with the batting, bowling, whatever, I think they are the best all-round side. You know, Mumbai is not a good all-round side. It's got great batting, but it's not a good all-round side. This we've been saying right from the beginning. And they were lucky to qualify, but they played brilliantly yesterday. But
Yeah.
you know, one swallow does not a summer make. So I'm not so sure. But if you look at Gujarat Titans, I think they are the whole package. They are everything. You know, batting, bowling, fielding. So I would really think that Gujarat Titans is a team to beat, and maybe Chennai Super Kings as number two.
Ah. Okay, now on to another big news story from the world of cricket. Let's take you through this. We might just be getting close to figuring out the venue for the Asia Cup in September this year. BCCI Chief Secretary and Asian Cricket Council's President, Jay Shah, has invited the presidents of Sri Lanka, Afghanistan and Bangladesh cricket boards for the IPL final to be played on the 28th of May in Ahmedabad. He says that there will be discussions with the three boards to plan out future course of action. Now, Pakistan are the hosts of this year's Asia Cup, but India have already said no to travelling there, and ACC have been looking at a way out of this situation. Pakistan has suggested a hybrid model where 4 matches will be played in Pakistan and the rest of them at a neutral venue, potentially at the UAE. But from the reports, from what we've been hearing, that the Sri Lankan Cricket Board and the Bangladesh Cricket Board have said that, you know, heat could be a major factor in the UAE and whether those matches could be played in Sri Lanka. So we'll finally have some clarity on whether Asia Cup will be hosted at a neutral venue, whether 4 matches will be in Pakistan and others at a neutral venue, which means that will ACC accept the hybrid model, or will the hosting rights be taken away? All of that, we'll find some clarity on that. Now, this is the quote from Jay Shah, what he said about this whole thing. He says, the respective presidents of Bangladesh, Afghanistan and Sri Lanka Cricket Board will grace the IPL 2023 final to be held on May 28th at the Narendra Modi Stadium. We will hold discussions with them for outlining the future course of action in relation to Asia Cup 2023. So let me go straight to Jamie. Jamie, it's interesting that India have decided, or BCCI, okay, Jamie is gone, but let me then go to Vedam. It's interesting that BCCI have decided to call these 3 board presidents, the top officials from these boards, but not Pakistan, given that Pakistan are the hosts, official hosts of this tournament. What do you first of all think that BCCI or Jay Shah would have at least invited them online to have a conversation, because this is a decision that cannot be taken unilaterally or without the presence of Pakistan Cricket Board? What is going on here where they'll decide this without the actual host nation's voice being available there?
Yeah, but what's the point in having a host nation if nobody wants to go and play there? You know, so Pakistan should understand their presidents have really shot their mouth off against India in all sorts of things. I'm talking of their cricket board president. You know, whether it is a World Cup, whether it is a distribution of ICC money or is Asia Cup. You know, many of these discussions could have taken place behind closed doors. Why did they shoot their mouth off? I don't know. And having shot their mouth off, they must understand one thing. India 2024 is general elections. Do you honestly think that BJP will allow Pakistan to come here and play? No. And in fact, we will not travel to Pakistan. There's no doubt about it. You know, and I think the way things are in Sri Lanka with their economy, with their cricket, you know, they can do with a lot of money. And I think this match, I see that it will be held in Sri Lanka. The timing is right because the weather also would be much better than it is in the UAE. And besides the weather, of course, Sri Lanka can do with a lot of tourism. They can do with a lot of television money, with a lot of tourists coming in, and I think it will go to Sri Lanka, especially when now with all these boards over there. And at the end of the day, it's money which talks, and cricket is very very big with money, and Indian cricket really calls to you.
So last week I had spoken to PCB chairman Mr. Najam Sethi, and this is what he had to say on the whole issue. I've got an excerpt out for all of you to see. Watch this and come right back.
There are a lot of reports that are coming out, as you also said, that Bangladesh is not happy. Sri Lanka Cricket Board is not happy because of playing in Dubai, in UAE during the month of September, heat being a huge problem. If the Asia Cup is shifted out of Pakistan, if the hosting rights go to another country, what would Pakistan do?
We're not going to go. They can't unilaterally take away our hosting rights. I mean, with this sort of dictatorial attitude, it's not going to work. And there's going to be no Asia Cup without Pakistan. Full stop. This is very unreasonable. I'm not going to accept it. Then they'll take away the rights from us of the Champions Trophy. That's not going to work. So we'll have to put our foot down somewhere or the other and seek justice.
And then where does World Cup stand in all of this? Because as you must have seen, there are so many reports coming out of a schedule that's already been drawn to venue.
On the Asia Cup, it's quite clear that if India refuses to come to play here and they reject the compromise formula that I worked out, then when the World Cup comes up, we'll ask our government that this is the situation. India has refused to come. We had to abandon the Asia Cup. What do you want us to do? And I will have floated by then the same formula to the ICC. My sense is that the ICC is not as rigidly opposed to the hybrid model. They're waiting to see how it will work out in the Asia Cup. I can't say more than this, but I think that's the factual position.
If you had to send a message to Mr. Jay Shah, what would that be?
That would be, hey, Jay, you want to be the chairman of the ICC? You should be keeping the flock together. You should keep the herd together in the ACC. Let it not be said that under your stewardship, the ACC split up.
Okay, sir. Just the last one before I wrap this up quickly. Do you get a sense that with all these reports floating around, there is no official response really from the BCCI? There is no official response from the Asian Cricket Council right now on the whole issue. Do you feel like it is sort of getting out of your hands when it comes to the Asia Cup? Do you feel
I must tell you that
yes,
if a decision is not taken quickly, one way or the other, things will get out of hand. I have already instructed my team to work out a proposal to have a 3-nation tournament during the time when the others may be playing the World Cup without us.
So hopefully, sir,
Sorry, I meant the Asia Cup, not the World Cup, the Asia Cup.
Yeah, the Asia Cup. Yes. So hopefully there is a solution to this, which is acceptable for all the parties involved, because we're also getting very close to both these tournaments. There's a lot more preparation that's needed for big tournaments such as these. Hopefully there is a resolution.
Okay, so there you have it. Najam Sethi talking about what Pakistan's position is on the whole issue. And the standoff at the moment continues because if hosting rights are taken away, PCB chief Najam Sethi making it very clear that Pakistan are not going to participate in the Asia Cup. He has in fact gone on to add that not only will they not participate, they will float a 3-nation tournament, which seems like they'll then go to Bangladesh and Sri Lanka and Afghanistan, possibly, I don't know, and try to get them to play this tournament while the Asia Cup is on. Now, these are all Pakistan's plans in case their hosting rights are taken away. But what I'm sensing from this, Vedam, is that this is really their last-ditch effort. They are trying everything to just get some matches in Pakistan. So they're saying, look, all the teams are coming here. They've come here in past 1 year. All we are saying is play 4 matches in Pakistan and then all other matches can be played in UAE. What he also goes on to say is, but for the neutral venue, why they've decided on UAE is because UAE, one, Pakistan Cricket League happened there. So, Pakistan Super League, so they have that relationship, plus they get all the money from gate receipts, which was a lot of money during that league. So he's saying that that's why we want UAE to be neutral host. If Sri Lanka can be the neutral host, we're okay with it, but then they need to give us that that money that they get from gate receipts. So there's all of that. At the end of it, I feel like the decision really is going to be with the BCCI, with Mr. Jay Shah. Pakistan can keep doing what they want to do.
Megha, it's not going to be a one-off. When they talk to Sri Lanka, it will be not just the Asia Cup. Maybe they'll give them a 3-match one-day series or a T20 series. Afghanistan could get a series in India. There are so many things. Maybe India will go to Bangladesh and play some T20. And we all know, how popular cricket is and how much of money those boards can make if the Indian team takes part. The television money and of course tourism and things like that. So I don't think, maybe Najam Sethi is aware of these things. So I wouldn't say that he's talking through his hat, but he is indulging in a lot of brinkmanship. This is not diplomatic talk. He's indulging in a lot of brinkmanship. And whatever he wants to say, he can say it in private to the respective boards, to Jay Shah. And look at how the Indian board is conducting itself. It's just not talking. It's not talking to the media and shouting and screaming and talking all sorts of things. And that's how a mature discussion should be held. Not making threats openly, we won't come, we'll do this, we'll do that. I mean, that's so kiddish and childish. And I think Pakistan will be the loser in this case. There is no way with an election taking place next year, India can afford to go to Pakistan.
Absolutely. And I think we'll get some clarity on it after the final. That's when they are going to discuss this whole issue. But Vedam, thank you so much. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
All right, so there you have it. First of all, brilliant effort, brilliant match that we got to see. It turned out to be one-sided, but that's because of how good Mumbai Indians were. Once again, showing that they are a side to beat in knockout matches. It is the most successful team in the IPL. Will Gujarat be able to survive against Mumbai Indians? That's the one big question. The other is, will the hosting rights remain with Pakistan? Will ACC, will they agree to that hybrid model proposed by Pakistan? All of these questions we've raised here on this show. We've also got answers from our experts, but the answer to who will win that qualifier 2, we'll get to know tomorrow. So do join us around the same time, 6 to 7, as we preview that show and we talk more about cricket. That's it from us. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.